Hi everyone, hope you're doing well and welcome to a new video. Before we get into today's topic, I would like to thank you very much for tuning in once again. You have no idea how amazing and how much it means to me that you guys keep coming back to these videos, so thank you very much for that. Also, I'd like to kindly ask, if you don't mind, if you can share, subscribe, and if you can and want, you can also make a contribution to this channel, to this content via buymeacoffee.com. I will leave the information in the description down below. In the meantime, I hope you enjoy the ride. So here we go. Today's subject is about feel-good shows and why they can be relevant to our current times. It is focused only and solely on TV series, on TV shows, in the small screen, but there are a lot of movies with this type of theme too. So its Extraordinary Playlist and Afterlife are both excellent of this. So let's get started. So what are these shows about? Well, to begin with, Zoe's Playlist is about the story of a girl who, after getting in an accident during an MRI, she gets the power to hear people's inner songs, or heart songs as she put it. And she works as an IT for a prestigious company, but she has always struggled to, with letting people in her life. So of course this new gain power leads to many musical numbers in each episode. I love musicals, you know me, but this is different. Now, Afterlife, on the other hand, is about a man who recently lost his wife due to cancer, the love of his life, and he is struggling to connect with other people and move on because of this. Now, this show has a much more darker approach to how this how we see life. It's a dark comedy, but equally as emotionally as Zoe's Playlist. Now, why they are so different and yet so similar? Now, even though Zoe's is more lighthearted, musically, and quirky at times, it is also equally as emotional as Afterlife. The main heart of the show lays in the fact that Zoe has a father with PSP. For those of you who do not know what this disease is PSP stands for Progressive Supranuclear Palsy, which is a rare progressive condition that can cause problems with balance, movement, vision, speech, and swallowing. In comparison, PSP gets worse quicker than Parkinson's, and it doesn't respond as well to medications. People with Parkinson's usually bend forward, while people with PSP stand very straight, very still, or even slightly backwards. The show deals with these day-to-day human vulnerabilities, and that's what is so appealing for us, for us as members of the audience. Likewise, Afterlife shows how susceptible the mind of a person, how fragile the mind of a person can turn after losing a loved one who has been dealing with a very nasty disease that is cancer, and until their passing, their demise. The show dwells in conditions of also our everyday life, things that we think of even though we don't want to admit it to anybody else, such as depression, mourning, suffering, and suicidal thoughts as well. This British series might not have musical numbers in it, nor perhaps have a more cheery, lighthearted approach to these type of situations, but it still has an incredible optimism and soul. Okay? Now, what makes them make you feel things? It could be the writing, the way these stories are told, and the emotions they appeal. For me, personally, it is more about the fragility of life. How it can fade away in a blink of an eye, how despite all this sadness, all the loss, all the hurting, that we have in our lives, we can still find a beacon of hope, just even if it's just a little bit, in laughter, or even in small little acts, in the little things of life. And in Afterlife, actually, some of the most profound conversations here are held, or are, they're held by Tony and Anne. This is a friendship that sort of became a friendship because their bond of losing a loved one in their lives. And these conversations, actually, they grow deeper and more meaningful towards the end of the show, as the series, or as the seasons progress. But they're ultimately the most optimistic side of it all. Their conversations are just pure heart. They're unique. They're just beautiful. They bring tears to our eyes with each line so perfectly delivered by both Ricky Gervais and Penelope Wilton. In Zoe's playlist, on the other hand, the emotions flow differently. They are expressed through songs and musical numbers, dances, as musicals usually do. However, they are performed so well, so in sync, with so much heart, that you can't help but feel what they're feeling. And it's also the most amazing thing about this, the most incredible thing about this musical, is that you have a contrast of what the characters are saying and doing versus what they're actually really feeling or thinking. So that conveys a much stronger, or there's a strength of each scene. There's the power in each scene that is so beautifully done that it's just a chef's kiss. Now, why are these shows so relevant nowadays? In my opinion, hope, optimism, the trust that everything will be okay, dealing with the notion that you have the strength and grace to not only elevate your own life, but make other people's lives a little bit lighter. Help them through kindness, even through the smallest act of making someone smile, just for a second, just for a moment, and you don't know how much that could mean to a person. That could just make their day. They might have a different approach, yes, they do actually, but the message is still the same. It stays the same. It is especially important during these troubled times. We live surrounded, by news, and our constant bombarding of news and people that are so mean to each other, that they're in pain, a world where everything seems so negative, so filled or sink in hatred, that they just remind us that there's nothing more human than to be good to one another, one way or another, through music or laughter, through comedy or musical numbers. Take your pick. Like Anne from Afterlife, and I would like to quote something she says in one of the seasons. If you want to be an angel, you've got to do it when you're alive. Be good. Do good things. Powerful words. Powerful message. These are the words of shows that we need more of, that are worth the watch. Shows that wear their hearts on their sleeves. Those are rare to find, honestly. Anyway, that's it, guys. Just wanted to talk about these two TV shows that I think they're like insanely good, and that I strongly recommend for you to check it, for you to check them out in whatever platform you can find them. yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for sticking all the way to the end. See you on the next video. Take care.